Okay, we're going to take a look at the Module 1 assignments. First, you're going to click on Weekly Content, and that'll bring you to the module content page, and you'll go down to Module 1, Concise Summary. At this point, you will have already completed the introduction module. Let's click. And for every module, there will first be an introduction. And then below it, there will be a link to the module documents that come in the form of a PDF file. You can see that page 1 of this document is the paper 1 assignment. And you'll pick from 4 different articles that you can find in your textbook to base your extended summary on. The second page is a list of active verbs that you will use for transitions. Transitional words and phrases that will be helpful, and then also signal phrases. These are all things that I will be referring to throughout the semester, and so you'll want to make sure that you have these documents handy for the entire semester. Now, underneath the module documents, we have the assignment checklist, and you can see that on Tuesday, January 25th, the draft of your first essay is due, and it needs to be 2.5 pages, 2.5 full pages. So then that Friday, your peer review of the summary essay is due, and you'll spend some time helping your partner cut at least 1 page of text from their draft. And then the following Tuesday, the final version of this summary is due. Now, to learn how to write summaries and how to write concisely, I have a 10-minute YouTube video that I created specifically for this class, and you can link to that page from right here. Also this week, we have Journal 1 due. Is that not written here? Oh, Journal 1. Here we go, right there. Journal 1 is due. And the grammar and style journals, the purpose is to have you review important and relevant writing concepts, and then journal what you've learned about them. And we've got a rubric underneath. When you want to turn that in, you'll click on Journal, and that'll bring you to the assignments page where you'll turn that assignment in. Now, as you can see from the instructions, to access the assignments tutorial, click on Writing Resources tab and go to Grammar and Style Journal, Option 1 folder. So we'll go over to the Writing Resources tab. I'm working on a better way to get this online, but for now this is how it's set up. And then there's 3 options. And this first week we're going to talk about active and passive voice, fragments, run-ons, and comma splices. So you'll just click on that folder, and you can study up on active and passive voice by listening to a tutorial created by Grammar Girl in her podcast series. There's a PowerPoint presentation, and then there are some links to some exercises where you can practice what you've learned. And the same is true for the fragments, run-ons, and comma splices. And then once you've completed it, we'll link back to the assignments for Journal 1. Well, let's go back to weekly content and finish up the week. Module 1, scroll down. Now, after the journal assignment, we have the paper 1 draft. Every draft that you turn in is going to be turned in 2 places. In this first place, you'll click here and you'll attach your draft as a Word document, and this is sent to me specifically. This is where I will go to retrieve your draft and issue feedback to you. So when you're looking for feedback from me, you're going to look under my grades, and it'll be reinserted under the draft a few days later. So that is how you turn in your draft to me. And you definitely want to do that on time. I do not send feedback for late drafts. The nature of the course just doesn't allow for it. So we'll go back now. Okay, you'll also send this draft to the discussion board. You'll just click here. Okay. Okay, now that you've gotten to the discussion board, you'll click on Instructions, and the instructions will guide you as to how to complete the peer review. You'll notice that you'll be using track changes in Word 2007, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Also notice there is a question about your classmate using signal phrases. So of course that's where that handout becomes really handy. Now let's go back to the weekly content. Of course you'll always have to use the tabs on the side or the breadcrumbs on top if they're available. And we'll go on to Module 1. And you can see that you're going to turn in your draft to me. You'll turn in your draft also to the discussion board. And then I've got a YouTube video that is about 6 minutes long, and it talks more in depth on how to use track changes and how to complete the peer review. And this is something that you can refer back to for all the peer reviews for the course. You'll turn in your peer review for grading here, much like you turned in your draft for me to complete feedback for you. And then you'll also go to that same peer review discussion board where you turned in your own draft, extended summary draft for peer review discussion board. And you'll turn in your completed peer review for your classmate on this board. Now, it would also be helpful, and I'm sure your classmate would appreciate it, if you also emailed that document directly to them. Now, the final step for the module is turning in your extended summary with a half-page reflection. This is in addition to the 1 to 1.5 page final version of the summary. There's a rubric here that you can look at that will talk to you about how I will grade. And then once you've turned that in, Module 1 is complete, and you'll move on to Module 2. You'll want to review the introduction, skim the reading assignments so that you know what's ahead, mark due dates for this unit on your personal calendar, and also check your personal calendar and schedule so that you're making sure that you are committing several hours in the next week to completing your assignments for this module. And then, of course, you'll email me with any questions or concerns you have. Here we are on our way to Module 2. This should be everything that you need to know right now. And, of course, let me know if you have any questions. Good luck this week.